Hello everyone, welcome you back to my channel guys. How you guys all doing today? I hope you're all doing great and I hope you're generally fine. Today I want to show you how to make the skirt part of this beautiful gown with side ruffles. Okay, this is a straight pencil skirt, although I have several videos on this, but for the sake of this tutorial I'll just show you guys how to go about it. So what I have here is actually the full length of the skirt after taking out the upper part measurement. So this first part, top part represents the waistline. So I'll just go ahead and take the vertical measurement. So from this waistline to the hip line, which will be at 9, then still on the waistline, then the next will be the new length. I'm taking that at 18, and of course the length of the skirt with the extra hemming allowance. So I'll just go ahead and convert this to a straight line. I have the back piece here as well. This is 2 inches of allowance for the back piece, and I'm cutting both pieces together. And you can see I also attached my lining to it. Okay, so I can just cut everything out together. This makes things, very easy for me. So on this waistline, the waist measurement is 32. If I divide it by 4, I have 8. So I'll add 8 inches there plus extra 2.5 inches of allowance. Then I'll come to the hip length, and the hip is 40 divided by 4, that's 10 plus 2.5 extra allowance. Then on the new length, I'm going to also impute the same hip measurement here, but I'll be taking out 1.5 inch after. So the hip we got was 10, right? Divide by 4, 10 plus extra 2.5 inches. So this was the hip measurement. So I'm coming back in by 1.5 inch now. Okay. Then for the lowest part, remember we are making it pencil. That's why we had to do this here. Then on the lowest part, I will still put in the hip measurement, which was what, 40 divided by 4, 10 plus 2.5, right? At the new, we went back in by 1.5, but on this lowest part, I'll be going back in by 2 inches, okay? I hope you understand that. So I'm coming back in again by what? 2 inches. So that is it. It's as easy as that. So I'll just go ahead and connect the points. And here it is, guys. You can see this all the way to the top. That's it, guys. We're like done. The only thing now is just to cut this out. So this lowest part, this is the hemming, where I'll be hemming. I'll just like to notch it. So on this top part, the front piece alone, just taking away the back piece so I don't mistakenly cut it. So this is the front piece alone with the lining attached. So at this center part, I'm just coming down in by say 3/4 of an inch. Then I'll connect it to the hip top. So at this center point, at the top part as well, I would take the bust span measurement, which is 7 divided by 2, 3.5 plus 0.5 inches, making it 4. So I'll just mark out 4 inches. So I'm just doing this so I can give it a notch where I'll be fixing in the dart. I'll go ahead and cut out this zipper part. And here, guys, you can see this skirt is ready. You can see this all the way from the top to the bottom. Now the ruffle, if you look at what we have on the thumbnail, you see that the width of the ruffle should be like 3 inches. Depending on the width you want to use, you have to add the allowance in case you are going to be hemming it or you are going to be weaving it. And remember, you're also going to attach it to the sides. Okay, so since I want 3 inches, I went ahead to cut out 5 inches in width. Okay, so So here I have about 5 inches. That was exactly what I cut out. But I wasn't going to hem because it's going to be a very, very long one and I don't have time to start hemming. So I went ahead to weave it. You can see here I've actually weaved. This is a very, very long piece. I've weaved it entirely with the outer weaving. Then this is the top part. I've also gone ahead to weave it. Just this one is the one that will be sewing it, that will be sewn inside. Okay. So after weaving both ends, you definitely see that the width has also reduced. So what I cut out before was 5 inches. So what I have here now is about 4 inches. Okay. Yes. So remember, we're going to be attaching it to the sides of this our the skirt part, okay? But in order to know the length, we settled with the width. In order to know the length, remember it's going to be on two sides. So this is just one side, right? So I'm going to measure what I have here. This is just to have an estimate to know the length of fabric to cut out. So from this top all the way to the floor length, I have about say 42. And you know we're still going to be hemming the lowest part, right? But just work with what you have. We have about 42, right? And remember this 42 is just for one side. Then if you make it two sides, it will be 42 times 2, which will become what? 84. Okay? And I have always told you before that when you want to cut out a ruffle, you multiply by 2.5, 3.5, depending on how full you want the ruffle. Although 3 inches is actually a moderately okay to work with. 3 is a good number to work with. If you want it just a moderate full effect. But if you want it so much, then you can increase it to 3.5 and 4 thereabout. So I'll be doing my same multiply by 3.5 or let's say even 4. So I'll go ahead and multiply what that 84 by multiply by 4. So if I say 84 times 4, so I have about 336. So we're going to be cutting out what? 336 of the width you're using, depending on what you want to use. 336 is what I'm using now against this width. Okay, so you can see, like I said, it's a very, 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 very long piece. Okay, so I actually had to cut and join. You can see some joinings, so this is how I've been able to achieve that much of this length. So I have it here exactly. And like I said, I've gone ahead to weave both ends. So what is left for me now will be what to go and create my ruffles. Okay, so running a straight stitch and start pulling, this is a very long one, depends on what works for you. But me, I'm just going to go to my machine and start making a tiny plate. Okay, so I'll keep making this till I'm able to achieve what? A length of what? 84, right? So which will be able to accommodate what? The both side. I hope you understand that. So what I'll do now, first of all, will be what? To go use my lining and turn out the skirt first. After turning it out, fix my dart, then I'll also what? Create the ruffle. Then of course I'll come back to show you the next step. So and here guys, I'm done turning this skirt with the lining. So you can see I've gone ahead to do that, and I'm also giving this a very good press, and of course I'm fixing the dart as well. So I did it for both the front piece and the back piece. So at this point I actually like to attach this to the upper piece, that's the top part, before joining the sides and fixing the zippers. But to explain this further, I'll just demonstrate with this skirt part. Of course, since we're going to be attaching this ruffle by the side, so what I'll do now is to mark the measurement on this right side. So I need it to be visible first. Okay, so you can see some lines here. So I've gone ahead to mark out the measurement for the waist all the way to the hip, and straight down. Okay, so marking it down, you mark it down with chalk so that it can be visible, just like I have it here. Then on both sides. So after that, now I will now place the ruffle. So here it is. So you see that very long piece. I've gone ahead to create a ruffle. You can see how this looks. Yeah, so this one now you will now place it on it. So you're placing this, of course, right side of the ruffle to right side of the fabric. And this one I have here is the front piece. Okay, so on this line now where you already marked out the measurement, so you're just going to place it. You know you're going to be sewing on this line, right? So which means if you're placing this, you should just place it, say, half inch ahead. Okay, so just place it half inch ahead of that line. Okay, so that when you sew, of course you also be sewing on top of the ruffle, right? So just place this like so. This, the ruffle has to face this side, so you just carefully, spread it and arrange it all the way to the length. That's after I have the ruffle like this, then I will now put the back piece on it. So you can carefully at this point, just carefully, you know, arrange it and pin everything down. Okay. So after pinning this down all the way from the top to the floor length, you can go ahead what and stitch, right? So after that, if I flip it to the front side, you can see how it's looking already. So that is it, guys. So you can see this, flipping it to the other side, you can see how beautiful this looks already. So that is it on how to make this side pleated skirt. Thank you so much, guys. We've come to the end of today's tutorial. If you find this helpful, please go ahead, like, share, and if you've not subscribed, please don't forget to do that as well. Thank you so much. See you on the next video. Bye for now.